Hey kids, today we're doing more blackwing combos. This was just trying to show you more situations in which you will be able to play through things, as well as new lines for various fringe situations, and a line for a potentially relevant future matchup using the new cards that were introduced over in Cyberstorm Access and Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge, Sharnga and Dissipator. They do change things, so I'm going over a new line to play around Havnis, but for now, this is something that will come up post-side if you play my list card for card, or if you're main decking Forbidden Lance, will come up frequently and often. This is how you play through an Imperm on the Sudri using Forbidden Lance. So I'll explain it when we get to the point where, but we're going to start like normal, Simoon, banish something, add Sudri, normal Sudri. Our opponent is going to activate infinite impermanence, and we want this second search, so we're going to Lance. Now, there's a big problem here, and that is that Lance has reduced Sudri's attack to 600, making it unable to search Vata, meaning that we can't go through our normal combo just yet. So while we do get both our searches, we'll have to grab Orochi the Squall and Shamal the Sandstorm. We're going to pitch Shamal to place Feather Whirlwind and then activate Sudri, tributing off the Simoon for a token to go into Nuthung and add Sudri back using Shamal. We're going to extra normal the Sudri, and here we're going to go ahead and grab our Vata, as well as the second half of our secondary search batch, which is Twin Shadow. We'll activate Vata, trigger the Feather Whirlwind to summon back the Vata, and bounce with Zephyros. Then reactivate Feather Whirlwind, go into Berea Storm. Berea Storm 1, Feather Whirlwind 2, we're going to summon back Vata and mill Sharnga. Then go into Dissipator. Dissipator is going to summon back this Shamal. Will special Orochi, go to Blackwing Dragon, Draco Berserker the Tiny, and Hot Red Abyss, as well as Blackwing Assault Dragon. We'll set Twin Shadow, and during the end phase take 1,000. And then during our opponent's turn, after they've presumably started committing to the board, we'll summon Fallen Master, add Sudri back to our hand, and summon Chinook the Snow Blast. So this gets us through an infinite impermanence and through that Lance attack drop. This gets us to a Omni, a monster negate or pop, a monster banish, a towers, a monster negate, and a tax dragon, with follow-up added back to our hand. We do trade out one of our towers for Draco Berserker to do this line, but it's still really good. Next up is a situation I find myself in more often than I'd like to be. This is what happens if you open Simoon as your only starter and Zephyros as your only banished. Now, normally you'd be able to live with this because the rest of your hand is crazy non-engine, but in this hypothetical, we only have these two cards available to us, so let's make the most of it. We're going to Simoon banish Zephyros, normal Simoon, and add Sudri. We're going to normal Sudri, Sudri 1, Whirlwind 2. We're going to grab Ouster and Shamal. We're going to pitch Shamal for Feather Whirlwind, and then tribute off the Simoon for a level 2 token, take 700, then go to Nuthung to burn for 800. We're going to get an extra normal of Auster and trigger in sequence Whirlwind and Auster to summon back Zephyros and add Sharnga. We'll special Sharnga and then go to Blackwing Dragon. Then summon back the Sharnga and make Berea Storm. We're going to chain block the Berea Storm by adding back Nuthung for next turn, then go ahead and mill Chinook. We're going to bounce back the Feather Whirlwind for Zephyros, reactivate, and then go to Draco Berserker, Bistro Dissipator, summon back the Sudri, make Assault Dragon, summon back the banished Berea Storm, and make a Full Armor Master. This was something with Bricked Hand, so we had to trade the Trap card and the Towers for Draco Berserker. But it's still a really, really, really potent end board. And because, we probably have 3 crazy non-engine, I'd say this is pretty good. Now, this is something I find myself doing against Marincess and Adignister frequently. This is a line that was designed to kill towers, really big monsters that are really hard to out, that have like more than 3,200 attack. Stuff like the Arrival Cybers Agnister, the Marincess Link 4, that kind of card. So we're going to start off like normal. Obviously, you will have to deal with interruption if you're in the position where you have to do this line, but this is the basic gist and how you want to get as much as you can. We're going to normal Sudri, normal Whirlwind, add Vata, add Shamal. So far, this is pretty standard, but things are going to change in just a minute after this, I believe. We're going to summon back the Vata and then make Berea Storm. No, things are still going about as normal so far. We're going to mill Sharnga and then bounce back Feather Whirlwind for Zephyros. So that's 2 counters on Blackwing Dragon. We're going to go into Bestial Dispater and then summon back the Vata and go into Nothung. Nothung's going to burn for 800, and then we'll extra normal the Sudri. Sudri is going to be channeling 1, Whirlwind's going to be channeling 2. We're going to grab Ouster for follow-up because we're not going to be making Hot Red Dragon Archfiend this. The goal is to kill people. Ouster here is just insurance. It's just follow-up. We're going to make the Tax Dragon, then tribute off Sudri for a Phantom Glimmer token, then go into Draco Berserker, and summon back our banished Berea Storm. That's 2 Synchro 6s, so we'll make Onimaru, and that thing is capable of attacking for exactly 6,000. And if that can't get over whatever towers you're having trouble with, I don't know what will. And not only that, but we also get Assault Dragon, Dispater, and Berserker, so usually if you're doing this line, you've killed your opponent dead. Next up is something that is enabled by Sharnga. This is the ability to play under a shotgun skill drain. Normally, skill drain early in our turn would be enough to give us a lot of pause, but now with Sharnga, we could still play and make very respectable boards through it. So we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn enough until skill drain goes through. Now, all we need to do to play through this skill drain is open Simoon, any banish, and either Sharnga, Vata, or Sudri. Any of those 3 cards works. So they're going to pay 1,000 for skill drain. We're going to Simoon for Black Whirlwind, and then normal summon Simoon. Whirlwind here is the one that activates. We're going to grab Sudri. Sudri is going to be Chainlink 2. As it's negated anyway, we're just going to protect the Whirlwind from Ash. So we'll lose the Sudri effect, and we're going to grab Sharnga. Next up, we're going to special Vata and make Blackwing Dragon, then special Sharnga and summon Berea Storm. We're going to activate Berea Storm. Obviously, they're not going to Ash this. It's negated. But then we'll banish Sharnga to pop the skill drain. We'll mill Chinook, go into Dispater, go into Assault Dragon, and summon back Blackwing Dragon. This is not much. This is a lot less than we could do with potentially more extension. If you draw, say, Shamal, you can go even further and probably kill your opponent dead. But this is still really, really good, given that it's under one of the most debilitating floodgates that the deck would have probably lost to previously. It's really, really great to see how much Sharnga gives us in the way of outing cards like that. Speaking of, this next one is going to be playing through Rivalry of Warlords. Now, obviously, almost all of our deck is Winged Beasts, so you might not think that Rivalry is a problem, except that a lot of our key boss monsters are dragons. In fact, we only have 2 monsters that are worth ending on that we can actually make under Rivalry, and that's Full Armor Master, because all of our other cards are dragons, or worms in Berserker's case. So Rivalry does give us a little bit more pause than you'd think, but it's no big deal. We can play through it with these. We're going to banish for Simoon, and then normal summon it, trigger Whirlwind. We're going to grab Sudri. We're going to normal the Sudri. Sudri is going to be Chainlink 1, Whirlwind's Chainlink 2. We're going to grab Vata and Shamal. Then Shamal's going to place Feather Whirlwind. We're going to go into Vata, tribute off the Simoon for Sudri, then go into Berea Storm. Berea Storm is going to be Chainlink 1. Chainlink 2, we're going to add back Sudri. We're going to mill Sharnga, and Sharnga is going to pop the Rivalry. Then we're going to activate Vata, milling the usual of Zephyros and Chinook. We'll summon back this Vata, and then bounce the Feather Whirlwind for Zephyros, then reactivate the Feather Whirlwind, and go into Dispater. We're going to summon Nothung, burn for 800, and then extra normal summon the Sudri. Chainlink 1 is going to be Sudri, Chainlink 2 is going to be Whirlwind. We're going to grab Orochi and Twin Shadow. We'll use Dispater to summon back Shamal and go into Full Armor Master, then reborn the Shamal so we can make Blackwing Dragon, special Orochi, and summon Abyss, then banish for Assault Dragon, and we've got the Twin Shadow live as well. And during our opponent's turn, we can during our turn, we can Twin Shadow for a Full Armor Master again, and then trigger the Shamal and the Feather Whirlwind if it's our opponent's turn to get these two back into rotation. It's really, really quite something. Just how much this deck is able to do under specific floodgates now. The only one that actually causes us trouble now is exactly There Can Be Only One. There Can Be Only One is the only floodgate left that actually does something against Blackwing's engine. It feels so good. It really, really does. Now, I have said before, and I will say again, Rescue Ace is one of the worst decks that people are convinced is good. However, as people play it more and more to prepare for Duelist Nexus, and after Duelist Nexus drops and people cope more and more, you will have to understand the matchup. It's not as free as I make it out to be, regrettably. So today I'm going to show you the line to play around all of the Rescue Ace cards to ensure that you don't give any free wins to this very, very winnable matchup. In fact, I don't think you should ever lose to Rescue Ace if you're going first and do this combo. It's just such a bad deck, and just don't give them any wins. Just do this line. So all we need is Simoon, obviously. We're going to use Simoon for Black Whirlwind. Normal this Simoon, and then activate Black Whirlwind to grab Sudri. Sudri is going to be Chain Link 1. We're going to Chain Block it with Black Whirlwind, so cards like Impulse aren't able to activate from here. We're going to grab Vata and Shamal, then special the Vata after setting Feather Whirlwind, and make Berea Storm. We'll Chain Block Berea Storm by adding Sudri back down with Shamal, then mill Zephyros, and make Full Armor Master. We'll Reborn the Vata, and then bounce the Feather Whirlwind for Zephyros. We'll take 400 and reactivate Feather Whirlwind, then make nothing, and Chain Block that by summoning back Vata. From here, we can go ahead and external with the Sudri, and once again, Chain Block it with the Whirlwind. We'll grab Sharnga, as well as Twin Shadow, and special the Sharnga. That gets us to Blackwing Dragon, which gets us to Spatter, which gets us to Assault Dragon. If you feel at this point like you don't have to worry about the Rescue Ace cards, if you feel like you have already what you need to handle the Rescue Ace that they're going to activate, what you can do is you can activate this Pater to summon the banished Berea Storm back and make a second Full Armor Master or a second Assault Dragon. I don't like doing that. I think that that's largely unnecessary, but if you feel like at that point you can handle the consequences, just go for it, you know? Get that extra piece of interruption, or rather that extra towers, because to my knowledge, I don't think Rescue Ace has an out to Full Armor Master. It's really funny.